words about books, Ben.
Nate.
You ever have one of those days where you're just like, I can't handle literally one more thing? Well, that's today for me, Ben. So that's why we're doing judging books by their covers, Ben.
Okay. I mean, I think we were due for one.
Yeah. And there's a theme kind of this time, Ben, and that's I did no research. I did even less research than I normally do, which is next to nothing.
I don't know if you do what you do every day, you can really call it a theme. Maybe that's like a life theme. Maybe that's like the quote. I'm going to try to convince your wife to put that on your tombstone if I outlive you. Here lies Nathaniel Creed. He did no research.
That is our house motto. Like, you know how the Starks is winter is coming? Ours is I did no research.
I like it. Your coat of arms is just a guy with his feet on the desk. Checking his watch, looking out the window.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Ben. What is this? Judging books by their covers 6, I think.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, every once in a while on Words About Books, Nate will select a bunch of books and show me only their covers. And I can only use the information on the cover, sometimes including what's on the back of the book.
Yeah, usually the blurb. You can read the little description.
I can read the blurb, I can look at the cover image, and I can make my decision about what we will read. We've gotten some interesting stuff that way.
Yeah.
Some of it was successful, I think. And for those who are listening on YouTube or may be inclined to listen on YouTube, I figured out how to use After Effects, and I'm actually going to put the covers of the book at the appropriate times in this episode. So if you want to view along with us, check it out on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Destroy my podcast stats, because YouTube has a different aggregator.
Well, that's fine. If they've listened this far and decided to go to YouTube, that counts as a listen. We're going to get double listens.
That's true. Double listen. That's even better.
All right. So, I only looked at some of the covers on these, and that's
you didn't even look at the covers.
I kind of.
That's not research.
I had to look at the covers, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you must have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had to. But I didn't look at really anything else. And also, as always, I have 5 books for you, Ben, and a 6th book if you reject all of these. I did actually look at the 6th book, and all I'm going to say about the 6th book is you might like it, you might not, I don't know, but I didn't go out of my way to pick a book that you would hate. And it's by an author we've covered on this podcast before. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, that could
be anything.
That could be a realm of experience.
That could be anywhere from Tolkien to Klein.
Or Klein's.
Or Klein's.
Even though I've begged you to stop beating that guy up.
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't go out of my way to pick a book that I thought you would hate. So
okay, all right, let's start it. I'll be saving these images as we go, so I can put them on.
First one.
Okay, I've been directed to the Goodreads link for The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Okay, not a lot I can do with these images. Let's see. Okay, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. So, the cover, for those of you in your cars, is a blue door with a skeleton keyhole and a stock photo looking through it. In yellow, it says, The Housemaid. This Goodreads informs me that this is The Housemaid number 1. implying that this is a series. It was also the Goodreads Choice Award nominee for Best Mystery and Thriller.
So you know it's going to be good. When has
Yeah.
Goodreads led us astray, Ben?
So the tagline is, "From behind closed doors, she sees everything." So this would be the second maid-related mystery we've read on this podcast.
Almost the same
no
name, even, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
that one just The Maid?
I'm your maid. You think I'm a peasant that doesn't exist, but actually I know everything about you. Except most people don't think of hotel maids that way. So, let's go ahead and read what's going on here. "Welcome to the family," Nina Winchester says as I shake her elegant, manicured hand. I smile politely, gazing around the marble hallway. Working here is my last chance to start fresh. I could pretend to be whoever I like, but I'll soon learn that the Winchesters' secrets are far more dangerous than my own. Every day I clean the Winchesters' beautiful house, top to bottom. I collect their daughter from school. That's British. That's a weird way to say that you pick up your kid from school. It's got to be British. I collect their
This
daughter.
whole thing sounds very British.
Well, the fact that there's servants, no American could afford those.
Yeah.
No real American.
Yeah. We don't live on an estate.
No. And I cook a delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up. How she tells lies about her own daughter, and how her husband, Andrew, seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I only try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like. But she soon finds out. And by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself. The Winchesters don't really know who I am. They don't know what I'm capable of. An unbelievably twisty read that will have you glued to the pages late into the night. Anyone who loves The Woman in the Window, The Wife Between Us, and The Girl on the Train won't be able to put this down. Yeah, this is I don't think it's a mystery. I think she's just going to kill this lady and live her life. I have not read The Woman in the Window, The Wife Between Us, or The Girl on the Train, but they all feel like titles of books that could be about cheating.
Nice.
So, okay. 338 pages. That's not bad. It's a maybe. I gotta say the cover does absolutely nothing for me.
If it helps, I saw that there were sequels where the cover is almost exactly the same, just with different eye colors and background color.
The cover looks like every one of those like terrible self-published books on Amazon that you see in like this is the best paranormal romance where a guy has sex with a fox. Number 1 in its category.
Those weirdly specific categories on Amazon.
Yeah. Or like there's random like isekai harem trash things that their targeted advertising seems to think I like. Thanks, Brad. I don't know how you've done it. But yeah, I'm neither here nor there on this. It's really going to depend on what comes next.
All right. And speaking of next, Ben.
Okay, I'm being sent another Goodreads link to Surely You Can't Be Serious. The True Story of Airplane. I know why you picked this. for those who may not be like religious listeners of this podcast, Nate and I have a disagreement about a certain kind of humor. The kind of humor perfectly encapsulated in the movie The Airplane. Is this another one of your like OJ's dead, we can talk about it now things?
Spoilers for our bonus episode coming out this summer.
Oh, God. Okay, so obviously it's just the movie poster for Airplane.
Was OJ in Airplane?
OJ was in Air. Was he in Air? He was in Airplane.
He's in
or Airplane
Naked
2.
Gun.
Naked Gun. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They're all the same fucking movie.
That scene where he gets his ass kicked and wheeled down the stadium it started trending like a month ago for some reason.
Well, unfortunately, this book has nothing to do with O.J. Simpson, so probably won't get picked. But
he really fit perfectly in the role, like a hand in a glove.
Oh, God.
All right.
Finally. So Goodreads is so small, I can't... Okay. Oh! Did you see the seal on this?
Oh?
Finally, a book you can judge by its cover.
Oh my God.
It was made for this. Okay, so let's read the description here. Surely You Can't Be Serious is an in-depth and historical look at the making of 1980s comedy classic Airplane by legendary writers and directors of the hit film.
Hit film, Ben.
I'm sure it was. Whenever it came out, which was like before I was born, Airplane premiered on July 2nd, 1980, well before I was born, with a budget of $3.5 million. And it went on to make nearly $200 million in sales and has influenced a multitude of comedians on both sides of the camera. Surely You Can't Be Serious is the first ever oral history of the making of Airplane by the creators. I mean, you wrote it down, so it's not an oral history. And of the beginnings of the Zaz Trio.
Maybe.
Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker. Charting the rise of their comedy troupe, Kentucky Fried Theater in Madison, Wisconsin, all the way to premiere night. The directors explain what drew them into filmmaking, and in particular comedy, with anecdotes, behind-the-scenes trivia, and never-before-revealed factoids. These titans of comedy filmmaking unpack everything from how they persuaded Peter Graves to be in the movie after he thought the script was a piece of garbage. Can't wait to read that. How Lorna Patterson auditioned for the stewardess role in the backseat of Jerry's Volvo. Okay, that aged well, I'm sure.
That is a choice that they made.
And how Leslie Nielsen's pranks got the entire crew into trouble. To who really wrote the jive talk, something else I'm sure aged incredibly well. The book also features... God, wouldn't it be something if it was? Wouldn't it be something if it was? The book also features testimonials and personal anecdotes from well-known faces in the film, television, and comedy sphere. That was a continuing sentence. Proving how influential Airplane has been from day one. 4 decades after its release, Airplane continues to make new generations laugh, if you say so. Its many one-liners and visual gags have worked their way into the mainstream culture. I guess Surely You Can't Be Serious is the one. I know.
It's also the title of this book. And
when
don't
I'm not
call me
confusing
Shirley.
it with Naked Gun. This fully organic expansion of the Zaz Trio's fan base, prompted solely by word of mouth, comes as no surprise to longtime fans when all around us is in flux. Laughter is priceless. Okay, I mean, like, I don't think we need to judge this one by its cover. I think I know, like, exactly what I'm getting here. Yeah, so here's the problem with this one, Nathaniel. Sometimes with words about books, we cover books where they have an adaptation that is so well known that we kind of also need to talk about the adaptation. So, like, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. These are some recent ones. I would have to watch Airplane if I covered this. And I could pretend to keep you guys in suspense about this, but like, no. Not on my watch. Vote for it, patrons, if this is what you want, you freaks. But no, I don't. I don't want this. I'm not going to pick it. I would take the mystery box before I took this, and I think you knew that when you put it up.
I thought maybe, you live on the wild side, Ben. But all right, I guess we'll go to the next one.
Okay. Star Wars: The High Republic. Space: The Light of the Jedi. Okay, the cover, there's a Wookiee Jedi holding a lightsaber with a crossguard. That's neat. There is...
Oh god, I didn't even notice that.
There is a lady and a guy holding lightsabers, blue and green, and there's an alien with a head tail. Twi'lek, maybe? I don't know. This is by Charles Soule. Or Soule.
So the crossguard, it protects against lightsabers from cutting off your hands somehow?
It probably doesn't. Maybe it does. Maybe it's a Beskar crossguard. Is that still canon?
What about kurtosis? Is that the other one?
Maybe.
I don't know if that's canon anymore.
I know a lot about Star Wars for somebody who's not that into Star Wars anymore.
Right? It's crazy.
So, okay. I will say the cover art's good. I like this. I like this picture. I like that there's a Wookiee Jedi. That's simple, but I'm a sucker for that. Everybody looks cool in their Jedi outfits and their capes and their tabards. I really like that medieval blend of knights with sci-fi. So, fine. I'll admit that looks cool. And for those who don't know, we have something of a history covering Star Wars books on this podcast.
Most of them
involve Thrawn
in
particular.
I think all of them involve Thrawn.
But I don't think it would be a huge stretch to cover one more, so this is not an instant no like the previous one. Let's see what we're in for here. Long before the First Order. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. Before the Empire, before the Clone Wars, Jedi lit the way for the galaxy in the High Republic. It is a golden age. Intrepid hyperspace scouts expand the reach of the Republic to the farthest stars. Worlds flourish under the benevolent leadership of the Senate, and peace reigns, enforced by the wisdom and strength of the renowned Jedi Order. I actually shortened that. I like my version better. With the Jedi at the height of their power, the free citizens of the galaxy are confident in their ability to weather any storm. Dumbass. But even the brightest light can cast its shadow, and sometimes storms defy any preparation. Like every time. Like every time the Jedi do anything.
It is a string of just failure after failure.
It's almost like having Jedi create Sith, and it would be better to just not.
Yeah.
And there are actually books that explore that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's probably the ground for a lot of different books.
They were covering that right at the point Disney took over.
Yeah, but all of that is now non-canon, Ben. So Jedi are good because they're marketable, and don't you ever say that they create conflict. Or it doesn't matter, I guess. It's a good thing they create conflict because it's called Star Wars, not Star Peace. So, Jedi, they bring in the money.
That's good news because When a shocking catastrophe in hyperspace tears a ship to pieces, the flurry of shrapnel emerging from the disaster threatens an entire system. No sooner does the call go out than the Jedi race to the scene. What the hell are the Jedi going to do?
They're gonna use their force powers to just push it out of the way, Ben. They can lift ships now.
The scope of the emergence, however, is enough to push even the Jedi to their limit. Don't you guys have shields?
No,
Don't you have, like, planetary shields?
That was in the Legends, Ben. They didn't think about that in the Disney canon.
It sounds like you should position a bunch of ships with big shields between the planet and the debris. Or just shoot it down with your lasers.
No.
Anyway.
No.
As the sky breaks open, destruction rains down on the peaceful alliance they help to build. The Jedi must trust in the Force to see them through to a day in which a single mistake could cost billions of lives. Even as the Jedi battle valiantly against calamity, something truly deadly grows beyond the boundary of the Republic. The hyperspace disaster is far more sinister than the Jedi could ever suspect. The threat hides in the darkness, far from the light of the age, and harbors a secret that could strike fear into the heart.
I feel like maybe you lost some steam as you read that. I feel like it started out good, and you're like, oh, I like that cover. Pretty nice cover. Looks good. Let's read what it's about. Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've read a lot of Star Wars books. I've never read this particular author. I've never even heard of this particular author. But I do know they have a tendency to have big, long series where people fondly remember a handful of books and attribute those qualities to every book in the series. And that's not really the case.
Like how there's like 15 Yuzong Vong War books.
Yeah, there's more than that.
Oh my God, are there really? I was kind of overestimating. Oh my God. How do you read that many books?
Well, they're not that complicated. And they all have really big print to make you feel smart. Yeah, so I suspect this is the first book in a series. I suspect this hyperspace thing is not really a big deal. And that the whole thing for this book is going to be a bunch of busy work for the most part, with hints of a larger plot that's going to play out over a series of books. And so I suspect if you actually cared about this story, you would have to commit to the whole series, which is something I don't know if I'm willing to do. I think if we were going to tackle a big Star Wars arc from the books, would it be this one? I don't know.
Or would it be more Thrawn?
Yeah, I guess there is more Thrawn. It could be.
An entire other Thrawn trilogy, Ben.
I guess I'm not really judging this one solely by its cover. I'm judging it by out of game knowledge that I have of how Star Wars structures its series. But we'll put this in a lukewarm category. I'm not saying no.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm, yeah. I'm not saying no, but I'm probably saying no. Next.
All right. Number 4.
5 Survive by Holly Jackson. From the #1 New York Times best-selling author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. It is a note left on a cracked windshield that says 5 Survive, written in red Sharpie, but with dots of what could be blood. I don't know why that got you.
I don't know why that got me either.
It was, according to Goodreads, a nominee for Best Young Adult Fiction in 2023. This is a short description. This is how blurbs should be, actually. So I like that this book is confident enough in its cover, which is cool. Looks like a horror movie cover. I'm okay with it. It looks like I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of cover. Let's read. Red Kenny. Is that that's a person's name, Red Kenny. Is that like a nickname you get? Like,
Oh,
like,
Dragon Age had the Friends of Red Jenny. So
yeah. Yeah. Okay, Red Kenny is on a trip for spring break with 5 friends. Her best friend, the older brother, his perfect girlfriend, a secret crush, a classmate, and a killer. These are archetypes, I guess. Like the best friend, the older brother's girlfriend, a secret crush, a classmate, and a killer.
all walk
But-
into
so
a
they're all on-
bar. Okay.
They're all on a trip. They're all on a road trip for spring break.
Okay.
When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, they soon realize this was no accident. They have been trapped by someone out there in the dark, someone who clearly wants them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or figure out which one of them is the target. What, and just throw them out? but is there a liar among them?
Yes.
Buried secrets will be forced to light.
So it's a game of werewolf.
And tensions inside the RV will reach deadly levels. Not all of them will survive the night. Okay, so wait. Red Kenny, her best friend, older brother, perfect girlfriend, secret crush, classmate, and a killer. That's 7 characters. So one of them's the killer and one of them's the target, leaving 5 innocent people. Presuming the 5 of them survive. I feel like this book spoiled the end. 5 of them get away. I could read this. I think you probably knew that because it's probably going to be easy to read. It's YA. It's got a. I do think it's going to be dumb. I gotta say that up front. Like,
I saw some covers and I went, yeah, I'll put that on there.
I don't know. The cover's fine. It looks like I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a movie series I have seen every film in, and they're all terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say even I knew that one.
Yeah, they're all really bad. Especially like the decision to cast Sarah Michelle Gellar as a damsel in distress at the height of her Buffy fame, where she's like typecast as the girl who kicks monsters' asses, but then she doesn't. So there's 8 hours until dawn, and somebody is trying to kill them. I'm just wondering, like, how are you going to raise the tension to the point where I don't just lock the RV and wait for dawn? Like, why am I going to throw one of my friends out? Why am I not just going to be like, you know what? Everybody chill out.
You have to vote, Ben.
I don't, though.
The game ends in 8 hours. You have to go around. You have to discuss.
What are you going to do in 8 hours? Are you going to blow up my RV?
You'll lose the game.
I don't care.
The killer, you have to vote for the werewolf, Ben. I mean, the killer, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, it does really sound like it started from a game of what was that? Midnight Werewolf or
Werewolf, yeah. One Night Werewolf. Yeah.
One Night Werewolf.
Or First Class Trouble, Ben. Having plans. How dare you?
Yeah. But there's 2 killers in First Class Trouble.
Yeah. How do you know there aren't secretly 2 killers in this? We don't know. You said there were 7
sequel.
People. Yeah, that's the sequel.
4 survive.
It's just a round. Each book is a new round.
I'm a little more positive towards this. This seems like less of a meme pick than the previous 2, perhaps. How many do I have left?
You've got 1 more left, Ben.
Oh, dear.
And I think it's a book I'm going to like. I don't know if it's a book you're going to like.
Oh, unlike Airplane?
Unlike Airplane, yes.
100% for me.
Hey, you could have covered it. You said do whatever's funnier, Ben. I decided to do what was funnier.
Okay, so I've heard of this.
Oh, no.
The Office BFFs, Tales of the Office from 2 Best Friends Who Were There by Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey. So this is a picture. The cover is pretty simple. It's the title of the book, the authors, and then the image is them in like one of those mall photo booths where it spits out a couple of like tiny pictures taken in quick succession. So these two have a podcast.
Oh my God, do they really?
Yeah, called The Office Ladies.
There you go. We're gonna get on their podcast. This is our this is our way in, man.
I don't. I don't want to. Okay. The Office.
Oh
It was funny the first 5,000 times.
It was funny the first the second, third, and fourth season. And yeah, then we're done.
I'm not a big fan of The Office.
Oh
I
my
preferred
God.
Parks and Rec.
I agree with you 100%. Outside of the first season of Parks and Rec, which also had a lot of issues.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of The Office. I can watch it if it's on. I don't hate it. It's not like Airplane. I also don't care about these two people. Like, I don't wish them ill, but I don't really care about their friendship. But let's read. Maybe they can convince me.
But they're no Jeanette McCurdy, is what you're saying.
I expect this to be far less heavy. If this winds up being, we both developed eating disorders and almost died several times because we lost the will to live.
You're really bringing that up a lot. She lost the will to live. Jesus.
I don't know. It affected me. Okay. But this is not that. This is an intimate, behind-the-scenes, richly illustrated celebration of beloved The Office co-stars Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey's friendship, and an insider's view of Pam Beesly and Angela Martin, and the iconic TV show, featuring many of their never-before-seen photos. This is a coffee table book. This is going to be all fluff. It's just going to be a bunch of, like, pictures. They barely... I guarantee you this is, like, half a book's worth of text. There's 321 pages. It's going to be maybe 100 pages of text, which may work in its favor. Receptionist Pam Beesly and accountant Angela Martin had very little in common when they toiled together at Scranton's Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. But, in reality, the two bonded in their very first days on set and over the 9 seasons of the series run. That's too long. That's too many seasons. Built a friendship that transcended the show and continues to this day, sharing everything from what it was like in the early days as the show struggled to gain traction. Did it?
Actually, it did.
Did it?
The first season was only renewed because Steve Carell was on the project and they expected the 40-year-old virgin to do well. First season was not well received.
Oh, wow. Because, like, people do not shut up about this show. I have had that.
I think they're doing a remake,
to me.
Ben. Oh, I think they're doing a remake.
There's an Indian version of The Office.
Well, of course there is.
I love it.
Oh, it's an
Indian
spin-off? Oh no, it says it's a reboot. Okay. And it's gonna be set in the Midwest.
Minutes.
That's what it needed, Ben. It needed to go to the
Midwest. It's been 5 minutes since I had somebody...
So what you're saying is this is starting to win you over.
I haven't even made it through the blurb, Nathaniel. 9 series run, sharing every day, early days where they struggled, to walking their first red carpet, plus exclusive. You know it's going to be good when somebody says the word exclusive. Plus exclusive stories on the making of milestone episodes and how their lives became changed when they became moms. The Office BFFs is full of the same warm and friendly tone that Jenna and Angela have brought to their Office Ladies podcast. Yep. Yeah, I knew they had a podcast. I knew their podcast does really well. I don't want this. Do you want to do this? If I pick this, is this going to make you happy?
I don't know, Ben. Probably not. But I will talk extensively about The Office at you.
Are you a big fan?
Yeah. For like a solid 2, 3, and 4 season. And then quickly...
Who's your favorite Office character?
I actually watched it with my wife, again, up until about that season, then we just, lost interest. I purposefully stopped bringing it up, Karen did nothing wrong. Jim was kind of an asshole and just kind of abandoned her to go date Pam. Ben.
Who is Karen?
Karen she's the nurse on Parks and Rec.
Oh!
Yeah.
Rashida Jones? Is that
yeah.
Her? Yeah.
She did nothing wrong.
I don't like Jim. I have a weird thing. I don't think this is going to surprise anyone. I've been told by people that I resemble Dwight. Hopefully not physically, but I guess in temperament.
It's always something bad.
Yeah, no, it always is.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I would rather be Seth Rogen than Dwight. That Dwight guy is not a good-looking man.
That is probably why he got the role. I mean...
Yeah, because he's a weirdo. But I've been told, with regard to my many rants and speeches and strong opinions about stuff, that I'm Dwight. But I think Dwight has, a weird, conservative libertarian bent. That's not me. But I'm definitely, I don't like working in an office, and neither did Dwight. Yeah, Jim. I hate him. Oh my God, that guy annoys the hell out of me. Maybe that's my most Dwight-like characteristic. I definitely can't stand John Krasinski. He comes off as a smug prick. Hot take, I guess. I wonder if they have any stories in here about John Krasinski sucks.
Probably
because that would bring me around.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh boy. You've presented me with quite a conundrum here, Nathaniel. This is the hardest judging books by their cover to date.
This is what happens when I don't even try to make a selection and curate it for you. I just go, all right, that looks all right. I'll pull that. Oh, yeah, an Office book? All right, let's put it on there. What else?
Okay, so let's metagame here. If I pick the Office thing, I'm going to probably find myself in a position where I am talking bad about one of the most beloved shows and two of the most beloved stars of that show, who also have a much more successful podcast than us. I don't think that's a good look. I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can afford that hit to our reputation. I think we have to exclude the Office BFFs.
Okay.
Also, I did scroll down on that one and look at the reviews, and they all say if you've listened to the podcast, you've read this book.
Okay.
5 Survive, that's a maybe. Star Wars, it's a maybe. Surely You Can't Be Serious, The True Story of Airplane. I'm going to cut that.
All right.
Now we're down to 3.
Down to 3. And the mystery one.
And the mystery. I've never picked a mystery one, have I?
You have not.
How many years have we done this?
Every single year, twice in the first year. So this is number 6, Ben.
6 times, and I've never picked the mystery. Do I roll the dice? God. I always make fun of those people on game shows when they wind up in these situations.
What's in the briefcase, Ben?
Do I just throw out everything? Do I take what I've got now? And because, the housemaid, I think we're going to rule out the Star Wars book, because that's a series, and that's a bigger commitment. I don't want to do that on a judging books by their cover. If we cover it, it would have to be a decision about the series as a whole. Okay, so 5 Survive and The Housemaid. I feel like either of these is safe. I feel like it's really the difference between like a YA book and a older people book. God. I feel actual tension.
You'll have to put some game show music here, Ben.
I know, I'm gonna have to find some. Nate, I think I want to open the mystery box.
Oh my god. Alright, Ben. We're opening the mystery box.
Oh no! Okay. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay. This was the right call. Okay. Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. You know what the cover is. You've seen it. It's the Targaryen flag on fire. It's got that George R.R. Martin font. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually a big George R.R. Martin fan. I pick on him. Everybody picks on him. The dude wrote like the next Lord of the Rings, and he just can't finish it. And that sucks. And how do you not talk about that all the time? But he did start writing the next Lord of the Rings, and that's further than a lot of other fantasy writers have gotten. So, Fire and Blood. Let's read the back. I've read all of A Song of Ice and Fire twice, just so you guys know. It had nothing to do with this podcast. Yeah. No, I'm a huge fan. You're getting like another Tolkien podcast for free with this. I actually can't make Goodreads show me the whole description. Show more. There you go. Okay. With all the fire and fury fans have come to spec. I can't talk anymore.
Nice.
With all the fire and fury fans have come to expect from international best-selling author George R.R. Martin, this is the first volume of the definitive two-part history of the Targaryens in Westeros. Centuries before the events of A Game of Thrones, also called A Song of Ice and Fire, if you read the book. House Targaryen, the only family of dragon lords to survive the doom of Valyria, took up residence on Dragonstone. Fire and Blood begins their tale with the legendary Aegon the Conqueror, creator of the Iron Throne, and goes on to recount the generations of Targaryens who have fought to hold that iconic seat, all the way up to the civil war that nearly tore their dynasty, as the British would say, apart. What really happened during the Dance of the Dragons? Why did it become so deadly to visit Valyria after the Doom? Shit, does it really get into that?
I assume so.
Because like that's a big thing in A Song of Ice and Fire. Is like, what the fuck did they do to Valyria? What is the origin of Daenerys' 3 eggs? Oh god, I'm nerding out a little. I didn't read this on protest. Like I was like, I don't want to read this until I know what the fate of A Song of Ice and Fire is. Because like if the rest of A Song of Ice and Fire is coming out, a piece of me holds out hope for the Winds of Winter.
Yeah, maybe, but he's not getting a Dream of Spring.
I don't think we'll get a Dream of Spring, but I think we could get the Winds of Winter.
On his
or maybe he'll live 100 years. Maybe he'll live 100 years in perfect mental health, and he'll do them both. Nate, what if that happens? What if one good thing happens in this life?
If that happens, I will find some way to pay homage to George R.R. Martin. I don't know if he wants money or like some sort of statue or like a painting of him valiantly crossing the Alps, but like...
I feel like it would be weirdly appropriate to send him like a $20 bill and some shitty like grocery store congratulations card. You did it, buddy. You finally wrote that book. Oh, man. This is nerdy and I kind of like it. These are but a few of the questions answered in this essential chronicle, as learned by Maester of the Citadel. Well, that's a weird sentence. And featuring more than 80 all-new black and white illustrations by artist Doug Wheatley. I'm sure he's great. I don't know who he is. Readers have glimpsed small parts of this narrative in volumes such as The World of Ice and Fire. But now, for the first time, the full tapestry of Targaryen history is revealed. With all the scope and grandeur of Gibbon's The History and Decline and Fall, or The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, Fire and Blood is the ultimate Game of Thrones. Oh, Fire and Blood is the ultimate Game of Thrones. Like, it is a Game of Thrones, not...
You know what's funny
book.
about this is
Game
I
of
remember we talked about, like, this is the 700-page book that he wrote instead of writing Winds of Winter.
That's why I didn't buy it.
Yeah, me too. But also, Ben, this is only part 1 of 2. He's writing
that's George, I don't care. That's fine. That's George R. R. Martin. That's what
That's
he does.
George R. R. Martin. He'll probably he'll probably release the second one on his deathbed and be like, there was actually a third one as well.
George R. R. Martin, like, can you imagine getting an email from him?
Yes.
Like, it's 3 pages long. It's like, happy birthday. So is this because you've been watching that series with Doctor Who?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is the pick. This is what we got to do. I could tell you everything there is to know about A Song of Ice and Fire right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm only gonna cover Fire and Blood. Did you see they're making... Do you know who Dunk and Egg are?
Yeah, I know who Egg is.
Okay. They're making... Do you know the stories of Dunk and Egg? Like, he wrote these, like, novellas.
No.
Oh, yeah. It's actually pretty good. They're making another show about Dunk and Egg.
Oh.
Like, Dunk was a hedge knight who winds up taking Egg under his wing. It's an unlikely master-apprentice relationship between, like, a kind of low-born man-at-arms and, you know, like the next emperor of the Dragon Kingdom. Yeah, that'd be good. No, okay. No, this was the right call. Jesus Christ, Nate, I almost picked 5 Survived by Holly Jackson. This was just sitting there. God, how would you have slept?
It would have been pretty awful if I would have been like, and here's what you didn't pick. It's like, God, I had the $1 million
We'd have to edit
briefcase.
the episode so that I did. We'd have to edit the episode. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe none of this is real. Maybe we're frauds. Oh man. Well, arguably maybe our most successful judging books by its cover. Though I'm not really judging it by its cover. I've read all of A Song of Ice and Fire twice. I know all about the Doom of Valyria. And...
Yeah, it was the most successful in that you threw out all 5 of the other books and got the mystery book.
Any other time, I'm feeling frosty right now. I don't know why. I'm unusually optimistic. Had a good night. Went to a good show last night. Had a lot of fun. I'm like ready to roll the dice. I'm ready to see what life has in store for me in a way I have never been before. And you know what? It's all coming up, Ben. I'm just going to start taking risk after risk after risk. I'm going to the casino, Nate.
Okay. All right. Just remember, if you win big, half of that is mine per the Words About Books contract. That's how that works.
All right. How do we end a judging books by their cover? We should create a promo for Words About Books so that other people can judge podcasts by their promos.
Nice. Yeah, we tried that once.
It's just
going
to be my chair squeaking.
We was going. There we go. We were.
Oh
going
yeah,
to
we
do
did a promo for Unsighted. Asked us for a promo because they were going to plug.
It was like a 30-second promo, and it took us like a
30-second
hour.
promo. It took us 2 hours. It took us 2 hours.
Yeah.
We kept we tried to record the promo, and then ultimately we just wound up making fun of them for being Canadian. It wasn't even really a promo for the podcast. We just made fun of Tim Hortons for 30 seconds. And then we're good at what we do. That's why we have so many delightful patrons. Patrons such as John Bierce, author of The Mage Errant, and The Rack, and a new book. And he has a Patreon himself, which you could check out. Jamie, the Gravy Man of the If You Want the Gravy blog, where he's covering a lot of stuff. Maybe not books. Maybe that lawsuit scared him. And then Isekai Sensei Sama of the That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster podcast. And probably the reason I keep getting ads for isekai novels on Reddit. What else we got? Spooky Shy with Y on TikTok. Masterful transition on my part.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. You would smash.